Stephen Parr, you're a meteorologist. Is this the storm of the century that people are saying?
Well, it's probably the biggest winter storm of this century. I mean, we are looking at a big ice storm that's going to be coming through, starting in New Mexico. We're looking at a foot of snow from Tulsa through Little Rock up towards the East Coast. You can see by the time we get done with Monday night, a foot of snow in New York City. The bigger problem, though, is the ice. We're looking at a half an inch of ice or more from Dallas, Texas, to just north of Houston, all the way through northern Louisiana, north half of Louisiana, all the way through Mississippi, Jackson, Mississippi, which really is not good at dealing with weather emergencies, Birmingham, Alabama, Atlanta, Georgia. And again, this ice goes up the East Coast a bit. So the problem is the half inch of ice. And that's where we can start looking at problems with power outages. If you get a half an inch of ice, it's going to collect on higher surfaces first. Those are tree branches. Those are power lines. And it becomes too much weight. Rain drips off. The ice just accumulates. It gets very heavy, and it will break those power lines. And so what you end up with is power outages that are on the same scale as hurricanes. But instead of coming up out of the Gulf, they're stretched across I-20. And it really is a potential where you could have hundreds of thousands, if not millions of people out of power.
Stephen, a couple of questions. So we're going to have this massive ice storm, and what's going to happen in the days after that? Are temperatures going to rise enough to melt the ice, or are we going to have huge areas that are going to have ice on the ground and in the trees for several days?
I think it's the latter. It obviously depends upon exactly where you are along this path, but there are certainly some places where we're going to be seeing freezing temperatures for 2 and 3 days, and so the ice won't have a chance to melt, and that'll make it even harder to get that power back on.
Okay, that's Stephen Parr, meteorologist, who is with us here on the Scott Jennings Show discussing the upcoming ice storm. We've got about a minute to go here, Stephen. Tell us, if you were giving advice to people in the path of this storm, what would it be? What do they need to be preparing for, and how long do they need to be prepared to be snowed or iced in?
For the folks, especially along I-20, from Dallas all the way over towards Atlanta, you need to be prepared to be without power for at least 48 hours. And so you're going to want to have, obviously, water. The grocery stores are starting to look like it's COVID shopping again. And you're going to want to make sure that you have some food that you can cook without having electricity to cook it with. And that's a problem. So making sure you have plenty of food and water. You might want to fill up the bathtub with water tonight, just in case you need to be able to flush toilets in case your city loses water. And I'm looking at folks in Jackson, Mississippi. They've had that problem several times in the last couple of years. So this could be another problem like that.
All right, Stephen Parr, meteorologist from Storm Guides Live and co-host of American Ground Radio. You can follow him on the X platform at America on Par, and that's Par with 2 R's. Stephen, thanks for the public service weather news for us. We'll be watching this winter storm over the weekend. We're going